Hello, everybody. Welcome to
Hello.
Irongeek Cast number 206. Much to do about nothing.
Good
Ooh,
name.
hell yeah.
How's it
Ryan.
going, folks?
Oh, it's going well. Here in Florida, hanging
Going
out. Florida's nice. I think it's nicer than New York.
The weather's nice. I mean, other than it's rained a hell of a lot, depending on how muggy the day is. But most of the time I've been in Florida, I think I've been there the right time of the year where it's nice.
Yeah. I'm going to CPAC. It's a conservative convention with a bunch of atheists. This should be fun. Atheists for Liberty. Cool little organization my friend Tom's spun up. And try and convince conservative people that atheists are not their enemies.
I'm fine with that.
Uh, I imagine a lot of the conservatives don't care nearly as much now as they did 20 years ago.
Well, I
Yeah,
think
you'd be surprised.
as an atheist, a lot of the problem is with the overly aggressive, the combative atheists, which are those are the ones that have a problem with people who kind of like me who have the policy of leave it to your own devices. You do your thing, I'll do mine, and we'll find some common ground somewhere else. People like that usually don't have a problem with.
Yeah, I think I was seeing an argument a while back on Facebook, and someone didn't really seem to believe that an evangelical atheist exists.
No, they
Yeah.
actually have atheist churches. I
Yeah.
stayed in a hotel and they had a meeting on a Sunday, and it was all atheists talking about not believing. I swear to you.
That sounds a little odd. I was kind of amazed that when I got to the airport here in Florida that they had a sign saying that there would be mass on Sundays in the airport. I was like, that's new.
Well, that's been around for a long time.
I've never known about that. I didn't
Yeah, they have
realize
like
that.
some of them have actual chapels in them.
That's
When
weird.
uh, when I was on that hijacked flight many moons ago, when we landed, that's where they stuck all of us. They stuck all of us in this little mini chapel, and tried to shake us down to make sure that we were all stable.
Wow. Yeah.
That little cup of orange juice with a tinfoil top on it, just really, helps you align yourself with religion after a hijacking.
I'm sure it was very helpful. I've never been on anything that's been hijacked, thankfully,
I,
except for maybe a podcast or two.
I was on my way to DEF CON back in, was it 2000, I think? Yeah.
Wow. Um, so yeah, we didn't do any show notes this week. We've been lazy fucks, so we got nothing to talk about. We could talk about the Mac malware, right? The whole deal with that shit is there was like a whole bunch of Mac machines. They didn't know this malware was living on those for a very long time. And then they're like, oh my God, look, we figured out all these machines are reaching out to the same C2 server. Oh no, 30,000 Macs so far that we know about that are infected. But how could that be? Macs don't get viruses.
Yeah,
Well,
right,
you know, they give it a cool name, something like Silver Sparrow or some bullshit like that. But I don't know. It worked pretty well for the articles that were written about it, and everybody's like, "Oh my god." Other thing is, how Cyberpunk Studio CD Projekt Red got hacked. And they're not going to be releasing the patch that was due this month because they had ransomware on their systems. And I'm pretty sure not many people would want a patch right now from a company that just got hacked, pushing software updates to their computers,
Eh,
especially.
I,
Yeah.
I do have to say I'm kind of happy about hearing that because that company fucking deserves it. It's actually not the first time it's happened. I think they got popped in like 2017. Had like the same thing happen to them back then again too. So that company's full of a bunch of assholes. From what I used to have very high opinions of them, but after hearing some of this shit they've been pulling, I'm like, no, you guys have fucked up way too hard this one.
Yeah. Another thing, failure to report cryptocurrency on your tax return can lead to some trouble with the IRS. You should, if you do have any crypto, you should make sure that you report it on your taxes, even if you haven't withdrawn.
Yeah, it's other income. You have to report that on your taxes. That's the same thing as like lottery or gambling winnings.
How do they know it's yours, though?
It's income only if you cash it in.
Well, yeah, but it could be considered capital gains because it's interest. You can earn interest on
If
it too,
you
depending upon how
if
you
you
invest it.
earn interest, but you got to cash it in. You have
Yeah.
to. Here's the deal: if you mine, that's considered the earnings are considered regular income.
Yep.
Okay, but if you get capital gains, if you cash it in, but again, if you are paying fees and exchange fees and all this other crap, that's all deductible. That's taken off the
It
top.
can be. If it's considered a business expense, yeah, you can deduct it. But if it's not a business, like if you're actually not doing it as a business, then I don't see how you could deduct it.
How do they even know you're doing it? And if you don't just openly admit it?
It depends upon how you do things. Like, they can see your bank accounts. Like, for example, when I bought my house, I tell them, here's my bank accounts. They can go and pull records. Like, here's here's how much money you have in the bank. I didn't even have to give them the authorization to it. They could just go do it. So if they see that you're getting $40,000 of
Well, yeah, I
cash
mean,
every 2 weeks, then they're gonna know that.
you're not doing a
Yep.
Richard Pryor and Superman 2. I mean, I understand you can get, but I mean, other than that, how do they know?
Well, for example, to mention that as well,
If you
anytime
have
you
it in
have
an exchange, they report it too.
yeah,
The
exchange
exchange.
report it, and if you get any kind of cash deposits into your bank, if you have cash deposits over I think
Right.
$10,000, the bank reports that, so they're gonna know. I mean, they're gonna find it. They have lots of ways of tracking that shit back.
But that's what I meant when I said, pulling a Richard Pryor in Superman 2.
Yeah,
You remember, like, he rounded off the decimals and put it into his personal bank account, and then came to
Also,
work the next day in a Ferrari.
Superman 2 and hackers.
And,
yeah,
Yeah.
and
and Office
and then
Space.
he comes to work the next day in a Ferrari. I mean,
Yeah.
You guys might like this. The Flash version that's being distributed officially by the Chinese government, that's a cracked version of Adobe Flash, is now installing its own adware onto systems where it's installed.
Case surprise.
That's
Flash. The sad thing about Flash going away is all the historical stuff that's going to be lost.
Well, if you have old like Flash videos and such, you can actually grab like View. There's programs like that actually have a Flash player built into them, so you can just play a video or something like that on there.
I mean, like, what's that going to do to like Newgrounds?
I mean, they're gonna have to move to HTML5 where they can. I know some applications have actually done that with the kill off. So
So Twitter has now released a new hacking label that has already been hacked, which is great. So the deal with this is essentially Twitter is labeling some tweets with a warning about the materials, saying that they may be obtained through hacking, and the new label is appearing on some Twitter stories based on leaked documents and things like that of that nature. But the label is also appearing on a story from an outlet called Gray Zone, where if you share the URL of a particular story, it'll also generate that warning, meaning that Twitter will display the warning if you trick it into doing so by making a specially crafted link to a genuine URL and then combine it with the flagged one. So you can trick Twitter's card-based system into flagging tweets. So that's kind of fun. Let's flag everybody's tweets.
well, I wonder if they're doing keyword matching, like for example during the election. Anytime someone mentions like the word election or fraud or things like that, they automatically have that warning of there's strenuous checks in the election, blah blah blah. So I saw someone link an article and they had the word leaked in there, and I'm wondering if they're looking for the word leaked and using that as a flag to pop up a warning on your post or something.
Yeah. What else do we have here? We've got the WannaCry creators have charged in a $1 billion hack. It's talking about the Sony breach back in like 2014, and how essentially those creators are now being charged in another hack. So people who made that. What else we got? Oh, there was an iced tea company on Long Island, and they renamed themselves to something like blockchain something technology for some fucking reason. They literally just make iced tea, but they gave them.
Did he drop off?
Sounds that way.
Yeah, someone got cut mid sentence.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Now we can.
Right.
So,
So the SEC is essentially saying that they are finding this Long Island IT company that changed their name to Blockchain Technologies because they were misleading investors by changing their name to something that has nothing to do with what the company makes, which is kind of funny when you think about it. Like they changed their name and everybody bought it. So I think it's funny. I would do it if I could. You know. What else we got? Um, so there's unauthorized remote code execution in VMware's vCenter. vCenter is a piece of software you can use to manage multiple ESXi instances. And usually they'll put it in the cloud so that the administrators can go access it and control all their VMs. And there are a lot of them in the cloud. And now there's remote code execution that doesn't even require being authenticated. So if you can find, on Shodan, a bunch of these, there is proof of code available for it, and you can go download it and pop a bunch of these if you're that kind of person.
I don't put that stuff in the cloud, so I think I'm okay.
You shouldn't put that stuff in the cloud, but people are lazy and they'll just do a port forward because they don't care.
there is no cloud, just somebody else's computer.
Exactly. Also, we've got a very heavily used Node.js package has a code injection vulnerability called CVE 2021-21315, and this is a command shell injection bug that essentially is in the system information lightweight Node.js library that a lot of developers use when they want to be able to retrieve statistics on the CPU, battery, hardware, network, all that kind of shit about a system. And essentially, if your Node.js application is running this dependency, it can be used to gain remote code execution on the underlying machine. There are workarounds available, and they're working on a patch as well. But as of now, you can literally just change a couple of parameters. And by doing that, you will be able to make it a lot harder to have an attacker use this vulnerability and pop your box. So, getting my box pop might be a little fun. Sounds interesting. I don't know. We also got some ransomware. We always got ransomware shit. I don't really care anymore. Companies keep getting hit with ransomware. We keep reporting on it. Nobody gives a fuck anymore. It's like, yeah, somebody got hit again. Unless like some big name place like CD Project Red. It's like, all right, so a whole bunch of school districts got popped, and like,
Yep.
local government here got popped. It's like the same shit every week.
There's an initiative going on in Vermont right now for securing school networks. The government is actually making some grants available.
Very cool. Yeah, my boss is actually going after a couple of school districts trying to get contracts for doing network monitoring because now they've got a budget for it because they keep getting popped. Also, IBM squashed a critical remote code execution bug recently, and that bug was in what the fuck was it in IBM Integration Designer, and it could allow a remote attacker to execute code. So another RCE bug. This is actually a Java bug. When you get underneath the hood, it is affecting version 7 and 8 of Java runtime environment. But it is essentially a buffer overflow. And, if you pop the JRE, you can get to the underlying operating system. So, all right. Not all that interesting. What else do we got? We got U.S. senators saying AWS infrastructure used in the SolarWinds attack. Essentially, that they're yelling at AWS because the C2 server was running on AWS, and they didn't shut it down right away until they actually got like orders. You have to shut this down. And so they want it to be like, hey, we think there's something bad going on with this. You just shut it down. Don't worry about us getting any kind of court order or anything. If something bad is happening, you're just going to shut that right down because we say so. And that's what they want anyway. Definitely could be abused to do some censorship stuff. I think like, hey, we don't like that web server. It's serving up some stuff that we don't want. So I don't know.
Alrighty, well,
We lose Trace again.
his video's not moving.
No, but yeah, I noticed that. Then I think. Oh,
Can you
there
hear me now?
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
back. Yeah, your video was frozen and you just cut out like 15 seconds ago.
All right. So the people who made the Southern Okibi ransomware got $123 million according to their wallet address, and that's a decent haul for a piece of ransomware. That's what I was talking about. $123 million according to their. Now I'm hearing feedback.
I think you.
That was me by accident.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Let's see what the
Let's see.
show notes say.
I didn't put any show notes in this week, so there's probably not going to be shit there. There's some common Nginx server. I keep saying Nginx, and I know it's Nginx, but whatever. Nginx server misconfigurations that are in the wild that mean there's like millions of servers that if you want to, you can go hack because they are misconfigured in such a way that it will allow any attacker to go and fuck with them. That is according to an article on Portswigger, which are they make a popular piece of software that is now. I think it's what is it? Is it do they make Burp? I think they make Burp. What else do we have? I talked about the senators saying that we should just be able to.
You burped.
We should just be able to cut microphones off at random.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
So when I
probably-
switch windows, it just seems to cut me out after like 30 seconds or so if I like go to
you're not
another
on a
window.
laptop, right?
I'm on my phone right now.
Oh,
That's
your
like
phone.
yeah, my laptop's upstairs. So
I mean, are you on a Wi-Fi or are you on a 4G or what?
I'm on Wi-Fi, and it's a decent connection. It's not the connection; it's the web-based app for StreamYard. If you don't have the window in focus, after about 30 seconds of being in any other window, it seems to freeze you, which is stupid. And there's no StreamYard Android app that I could find, so this is what I'm stuck with right now. Balls.
Yeah, you're like you have the weird. I mean, you know, we could take screen caps of your expressions.
Yep.
Isn't that in the industry? Isn't that just generally referred to as a big bag of suck?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you probably should have a laptop.
I do. It's upstairs, and I don't want to go get it right now because I'm pretty much going to go in the pool in a minute because
Ooh,
I'm on vacation.
cool.
You
know, they're still shut down all the pools out here.
That sucks.
Hey, if we have Hacker Summer Camp this year, one thing you definitely want to check out is there's this new hotel downtown called the Circa that has this giant outdoor stadium pool. It's like 7 pools pointing towards a giant jumbotron.
Nice.
It is boner-inducing to look at. It's just amazing.
Can we put your wheelchair in there?
Actually, it's wheelchair accessible, and I can transfer from the wheelchair into the pool.
Cool.
I learned how to do that here at the pool in my apartment.
We got to make a mod for your wheelchair so that it works as a submersible. Like
I would love to do that. I'm still working on the next version of Rolling Thunder, though.
Nice. That's the name of a roller coaster at Great Adventure, too. It's the old wooden roller coaster.
There's an old video game by that name, too.
So you're making a wheelchair with machine guns?
No, actually, it's a wheelchair with Raspberry Pi 4 running Kali Linux on a 200 amp hour battery and the Russian Alpha antenna setup.
Okay.
So I can basically do rolling pen testing with Kali from my wheelchair, or I can just set it to DOS and drive it down the street and piss off everybody in my neighborhood.
All right. So
And there's a second Pi 3 that does Pirate Box for file sharing.
I've got a ESP8266 based Node MCU deauthor that costs like $6 and knocks out the Wi-Fi for the entire building
Yep.
really well. You literally
I
just tell it any hotspot you see, knock out, and it deauths anybody trying to connect to anything. It's really fun.
I
Piss
just
off a
like
lot of people.
I like having the whole package available so I can do other things too.
Well, the cool thing is you can actually have it toss up its own hotspot, and you do your configuration on the hotspot, like what things I want you to take down, and then as soon as you hit apply, the hotspot will go away, and then it will just be off what you tell it to, which is nice. Then if you want to, get back to the web UI, just unplug it, plug it back in. It's
The other
fun
thing,
shit.
I'm working on putting a DJ kit into it too. There's a
Mm-hmm.
company that just came out with a new fully battery powered digital DJ kit.
Let's see what's.
Costs about $1,000, but I can strap that to the front and strap a speaker to the back and be mobile.
It sounds like fun.
You gotta have fun somehow. I mean, I've been stuck in this
No, you
apartment for
don't.
5 years now.
Yeah,
Oh, news-wise, did you see that fries went tits up?
I did. I have to find
Finally.
another place to go
They
shopping.
they made a surprise announcement and said, "Oh yeah, by the way, we closed yesterday." And
Yep.
you go to their website now, and they go, "Yeah, guess what? We closed 2 days ago," and they all shut down.
That's
I
kind
mean,
of a bummer. I never had one nearby me, but I kind of always wanted one just for those electronics projects when you want to go get something right now.
You know, the problem is for the last couple of years, they haven't been good for that at all.
yeah, we had
Fries suck.
There's
There's a reason they went out of business.
and I used to love to go to Fry. Okay, I mean, I would buy a lot of gear, but the problem is the crap they stocked was not oftentimes what I used. I mean, they just they didn't listen to me. I said, okay, well, make sure you get the right networking gear. Why are you you know stocking OM1 fiber when everybody's using OM3 and OM4? Okay, I mean,
This is probably a really bad idea being in the pool with my phone, right?
Not expressly.
probably, yeah. I mean, there's a guy in New York that can fix them when they've been. Or
Wet phones?
there's a woman. There's a
Is
woman.
that the Mac guy?
There's a Mac guy, and there's a woman who does phones, even if they've been flushed down a toilet.
Wow. Toilet phones.
At least you get your data back. I don't. You might not. Get your phone back.
Why don't we just get ruggedized phones like I do? I mean,
I know one of my friends has got like a cheap phone from China that cost him $200, and it's like a freaking brick, but it's indestructible.
I used to
And
have the
it's like
Nextel.
2 SIMs, which is cool.
I used to have the Nextel one that you could like throw into a pool, and just it would still work. I used to take conference calls in the shower.
What is fun? I've never taken a conference call in the shower. I have done morning meetings while still in bed, which is fun.
Well, I always.
All right, gentlemen. I'm going to leave you be, and you guys can do the rest of this cast without me, because I'm going to go hang out with some cool atheists now.
All right.
Alrighty.
Well, so I mean, I was going to talk a little bit of crypto, like
Yeah, man. You
Ethereum.
do that.
Ethereum is down, man. It's like down 40%.
Yeah, but GameStop gets back up. Later, guys.
All right, have a good one.
Later.
Later.
And GameStop is selling GPUs. Okay, so if you hear a dong or a siren, that's because I got a stream that says, "Oh, there's a GPU on Newegg" or something like that. And no, I'm not going to pay $1,000 for a MSI RX 6800 when they're supposed to be retail for about $700 or $600. But
The trick I found lately is you can get nice high-end GPU cards as part of a package deal, and then just resell the rest of the package and make your money back.
yeah, I mean, like Newegg has combos where they slap on a power supply and a 3090 or something like that. And, okay, it's a decent power supply. It's usually a gold, like an 850 watt or something like that, but you'll run that GPU. I buy platinum. on everything. I
Oh,
mean,
I'm talking about like whole systems. Like I think
oh,
I wanted to get this nice card, and the card wasn't available, but it was available if you bought this package of an i7 with blah 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 blah. And it's just
yeah.
basically you buy the package deal, strip the video card out, and resell the machine, and Bob's your uncle.
Yeah, I mean, you buy about a $3,500 computer with a NVIDIA 3090 in it, and you know, and then yeah, well, it's kind of expensive.
Well, in
So,
90, yeah, that 90s are going to be expensive no matter where you go.
well, that right now is the fastest GPU, but it's also
Yeah.
I don't know if the RI. I mean, it's like a hundred and 130 days ROI for those. They'll do 110 mega hash for Ethereum,
Hmm.
which is about I'm running about 150 mega hash, and the my rate keeps going down. It's really upsetting.
Yeah, see, I go to 3070.
I got a 3070, I got a 5700 XT, and I got a 5600 XT. The 3070 is is really picky. It's trying to get the hash rate up. Uh, I mean, I can get about 60 and run at about 132 watts or something like that. I'm beginning to think the 5700 XT is the primo card.
What's your price point for that video card for the 3070?
Well, I paid it was with tax and everything. It was a little over 800, and then I bought the extended plan. I went to Micro Center and got it, and it's an MSI, so they marked theirs up too much. But the thing is, if I could buy another card, I can just return the thing and get a credit for it and buy another card.
Yeah,
So
see, this system I picked up has a Ryzen 5 in it with the 3070, and just a little over 800 and change.
that's pretty good.
So figure, I've got a Ryzen 5, 16 gig on the motherboard. That should get you at least half that back.
Yeah, the MSI, even though it has Samsung memory, I mean, I can't really run. If I'm going to run the memory clock up to 1400, I'm going to have to run the power up to like
Oh
90
yeah,
watts.
yeah, definitely.
Okay, so I backed it down to about 1200, 1210, and so I got 55 watts power limit on it.
And then the
And
police kick your door in and want to know where your weed grow station is.
no, it's fine. I mean, it's cool. I keep the thermostat about 68. I mean, I get cold.
There's been instances where police have mistaken people who are mining. They think, oh, he's using all this power, and they think it's grow lights, and they kick in the door looking for a weed shop, and what they end up getting is some guy mining coin.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, I got a garage. Okay, so if I decided to invest in an ASIC miner, I'd stick it in the garage, and I might even, I mean, probably have to hire an electrician to run some 240 volt. But I'd put an air conditioner in there, one of those little, you know, uh, server room types, a
Yeah,
trip light or something like that, and I would pump direct air on that stupid thing. But
you
I
gotta
mean,
have fun somehow.
I'm in an apartment, so until I get the house sold. I mean, they gotta kick my sister in the butt. But yeah, but I mean, there was when Ethereum was up like a couple of grand, it was showing I was making over $700 a month. Now about 430.
Is that before or after your electricity cost?
That's before electricity costs. Actually, it's 415 right now, It's really sucking. And I'm surprising I'm not getting more shares because I mean I got fast internet. The problem seems to be everybody's cashing out, and the fees are I guess are starting to drop, which is good. Dips are good. But I got to be able to pay for this equipment.
This is true.
I mean, if I know if I earn enough, then I'm gonna have to just basically, you know, uh, create an LLC and transfer all the assets to an LLC.
What's your advantage there?
Well, then it's a business, and so it depends on where you register your LLC tax rates, and but you got the deductions without the I mean it's harder for as a sole proprietor to do deductions now.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so but I put it into an LLC, create a trust, and I own the trust owns the LLC in like Wyoming. Okay, and so then I'm the beneficiary of the trust, and then so the trust files the I mean hopefully the corporate tax rates won't go up, but the thing is if I don't cash in the Ethereum, the only problem is power. I'll have to be selling the trust the power. I have to buy power meters. I
Ah, good
mean,
time to go solar.
not an apartment. If I buy a
Yeah.
place, problem is that if I buy a place, I I'll it's like 2 years before you can sell before even break even on it. And who knows? I mean, I like the apartment, so yeah, I do want to move into the next county.
I looked at a place, and crazy as it may sound, because it's totally crazy, as an airplane hangar.
Hmm.
But the price was right, but they wouldn't let me live, work in it,
They
which
wouldn't
sucks.
let
They won't let me live in it, and they wouldn't let me live in the space.
well, they wouldn't let you bring in a mobile home or a mobile home office into it.
No, yeah, I can't do any of that.
Like I said that's what I would think of is you put in a
Yeah.
double wide and you know
Some people just have no sense of adventure.
well you also say it's a guest quarters, okay, for because you run a 24-hour operation,
Which I do.
and so that's how you would justify it. And if you're also if you're handicapped, then you can
Yep.
also say, okay, but this is also a space for your take care of your medical issues.
That I've heard that's possible, but I haven't heard of anyone who's done it. I am in that position.
Well, it takes a CPA and a lawyer, and you might even be able to get some government funding for it.
I've tried. The van I want, I spec'd out. They want 90 grand for. I could not believe that shit. 90 grand for the van I want.
Yeah, don't you wish you could just retrofit a RAV4 Prime?
You can. The problem is that when it gets down to it, the people won't install the lift unless it's certified this and certified that. Unless you go down to the local chop shop, which is
Yeah,
that's what I'm looking into doing right now.
It's not a van. It's a small SUV, and so it'd be tough. But
Oh yeah, no,
what?
that's not going to work. No, the tiny mobiles are not going to work for me.
Well, but the thing is, it is an SUV, and it's an all-wheel drive, plug-in electric. I mean,
What passes for an SUV these days is like a Volkswagen Bug.
no, this is a Rav4 Prime. I mean, it has some space. You can carry some cargo in it.
There's have you seen the new mail trucks that just got approved?
No, I haven't seen those, but
They're really really low platform and they'd be
okay.
perfect. Pardon me while I execute this drug lord.
Oh, you're playing some games. All right. Well,
Tom
anyway,
Clancy's Wildlands.
yeah. So I am starting to play around with the crypto, I run into heat issues. I mean, I got two GPUs in one system, and I had to put a riser in, an extender, and keep space between the GPUs because it was just getting too hot, and uh,
Uh, I used to have heat problems like that when I was dorking around with this stuff. But, I've seen a lot of really expensive stuff for dealing with heat. And the most effective thing I ever found was literally taking the side off the machine and zip tying a box fan.
this is a Cooler Master half XB case. It's practically a mining rig. It's like a mini mining
So,
rig.
Yeah.
apparently,
Okay.
Dickie in the chat says I think he has that game, but he hasn't had time to play it yet.
Yeah.
It's a good game. It's definitely a good game. It's not your usual, blow up shit, kill people, cast magic spell bullshit.
Yeah. So
I've already beaten it twice, so.
what I actually have is I can clear off I got a NSF wire rack, and I could
Oh
probably
yeah.
put a 6 GPU mining frame on top, and that's where all the internet stuff is and everything else. There's a ceiling fan right there next to it. Get all those, I sell all the damn printers, and I got a bunch of retail printers, zebras and stuff like that.
Oh man, I just got a zebra printer for shipping my comic books,
Oh, really?
and I got a knockoff power supply. Oh, get this! It's a specialty zebra that's designed to only work for FedEx. So you've got to download this this update.
Firmware.
You got to flash it, and you
Okay.
got to load a special font package into it, and then it works fine. It works like a normal zebra. But I bought an aftermarket power supply. Uncle Ho's power supplies off of Amazon, and it's not good enough. It doesn't have the amperage, and it shits the bed halfway through a label if your darkness is above 4.
So, and you're running it's thermal transfer.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I
Well,
just gotta find a better power supply. But damn, it's more convenient than anything else when it comes when you got to do a lot of shipping.
I
Because
got I
this
got
is
I
today's
got
stack of shipping right there.
I got a whole bunch of these zebra printers.
Yep.
Um, uh,
You can see the. Oh wait, there it is. You can see it. It's straight. The zebra is the one behind in the back. Hang on. Let me Fiat Lux here. I got no light in this place. There you go.
okay, it looks kind of like what I got.
Yeah.
These are just pull one off the top shelf. I mean, I just kind of I make to sell all these stupid things, and I got power supplies for them. I'll test to make sure it works. But
Yeah. Make sure they have amperage. Otherwise, they die in the middle of a label.
I got the original power supplies
Oh damn.
for them. I mean, this is an LP 2844Z, and I also have some Godex GT4. And the Godex, they'll be expensive because they're fairly new, but I mean, basically, They dumped it for Dymo label printers or something like that, and they said,
Yeah, I got a dual Dymo here that I picked up on the cheap. The problem with Dymos is they're just way too expensive for what they are. There's no reason to pay $300 for a thermal printer.
well, that's what the new ones go for. Even the newer Codex or Zebras or whatever.
What's it made of? Unobtainium?
Yeah, I mean that's true.
You know, and I don't mind buying them used, but if you get the ones that are locked down, you got to flash them and you got to dick around with shit before they start working right.
There might be a special firmware on them, but they work for any label, and you can set any setting.
Oh yeah, it's just the ones for FedEx are the ones that are the pain in the ass. I had to dig through Reddit for about a half a day with people screaming about it until I figured out how to get it to work.
I'm sure that there's a Linux utility, and just save the BIOS on a good one, and then just start loading them up. Yeah. And so I do have these old Zebras that I'm gonna I'll put them on eBay or whatever, and then they probably won't be that expensive. The Codex will be. And I'm gonna keep the one that has the cutter. That's the cool factor.
Yeah.
Now these are USB only. They're not networked. I don't know if I ever got these Zebras that were networked. But these are the ones that have a serial port on them. They work with like a pole displays and crap like that. Or you can I think they're supposed to be for like retail. You can print the labels, or you can print receipts or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I threw out all my bar. Well, I still got a barcode scanner too. So.
Those are good for printing receipts, so you can make extra receipts if you ever go anywhere.
Yeah. No, I mean I used to do retail systems. I mean, set them up in software and servers and stuff like that. But yeah, well, I mean, so if you can get me on Twitter and we'll make a deal on one of these things. I'll make sure.
Sure. Absolutely. What's your Twitter, or you want to just throw it to me offline?
It's in there. I mean, I'm in the DMs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
I'm very married in the DMs. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh, I got something. Somebody is giving me a message, and
There's the cover art for my latest issue.
so what comic are you doing?
I'll do a couple of them. This one is called Noidwatu. It's modern mythology, sort of like it takes Finnish mythology and sets it in New York City, current day.
I mean, I know comic people. I mean, I buy I get like Earthworm Jim and stuff like that.
This is indie, so I mean, I do everything myself except for the art.
This is the Doug Tenaple is ending it. He's been blacklisted on everything.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah, and you can hook up with some of these guys and do. I mean, there's a lot of new stuff out now. Tim Lim is doing a bunch.
I just shot you the website.
All right, on the YouTube or on
Twitter.
Oh, Twitter. Okay, let me see. Ta-da. Messages. Yep. No, not there. Maybe. Well.
It's on the Cast Regulars channel.
Oh, I see it now. Okay, Omniverse of. Okay.
Yep, that's me.
New domain, entropicsdomain.com. Potential security risk.
Oh, why does it say that?
Let me view the certificate. Oh, it's because it's a new. How when did you register this?
A couple of years ago, it's a GoDaddy front end.
It should be fine. My Fortinet is going. Screw
I think
you.
you may have got the URL goofed because
Entropic Designs.
yeah, with a hyphen.
Yeah, let me see if I put a www in front of it and see if that works.
Fortinet.
Yeah, well, I got a FortiGate. I mean, that's just what's that?
Fornicate. Yep.
I mean, it's cheap. It's still potential security risk. Yeah, let's see.
Huh. I wonder why it
Newly
thinks
observed domain.
it's a what?
Security risk, newly observed domain.
Oh, that's bullshit. This has been around for like 4 years. Newly observed by who? It just shows you how underground and unknown I am.
Oh, it wants me to fill in all my information. It should have my registration. Stupid stuff.
What registration?
I got active. I got a 60F firewall here, UTM,
Yeah.
and so it should it should be working. So let's see.
I'm afraid my knowledge of comic books ends about the mid '90s for the most part. I kind of got back into it around 2006, reading digital versions, but just nothing really caught my fancy enough to keep going.
Yeah, well, this isn't, superhero spandex, beat up the bad guy who's purple from Mars stuff.
Yeah, but that's the stuff I like.
Ah, there you go.
That and horror.
Well,
Well,
there's a good edge of horror to this.
what I'm going to do is kind of post it around some of the other comic guys that do stuff like Tim Lim, conservative guy, and some of the other guys that are doing it. Some of these guys are called comic tapes. They're not really. They're not total assholes like some of those guys are.
Yeah, I know. I've run into those. Oh, we're doing good for an indie comic with 2 years under its belt.
Hey, you're doing Kickstarter or
No, none of the above. I didn't want to get ripped off, and so I'm doing it basically out of pocket for right now. I want to do a Kickstarter at one point, but I got to get enough going where, I'm not going to have just 3 people and not make enough money off of it,
All right, let me post this. So yeah, I've bought some indie stuff before, and it's actually well, okay. So you got a crowd that's what's called the washed up Marvel and DC pros,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have some of the new guys that are just are good writers and good artists and stuff like that.
I've got an amazing artist.
Well,
My art.
I know the crowd of people. I mean, and they can actually have you on live streams on YouTube talking.
I've been signing up for those, and people aren't biting. I don't know why.
Well, I will get a hold of somebody that may.
Yeah, go for it.
Do that, maybe even Doug Knaple. And he is going gangbusters. I mean, I'm still waiting on one of his big books. I mean, he does leather bound stuff now.
So guys, I'm gonna head off. So I'm gonna leave you all to chat, but I'm going to end the stream. So I really have more content for tonight, guys.
Well, I mean, there's, I didn't really. I've been too busy with other stuff to look up what malware is bothering people and stuff like that.
Yeah, Barry and I had more pressing concerns on our mind last week.
Oh boy, who got
Yeah,
married?
I mean, yeah, there was, yeah,
Well, no, survival.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's see, I was out of power and water because
Mm.
they the apartment building, the upstairs busted one of the sprinkler pipes in the
Yeah.
attic, and
Ow, ouch.
of course the fire alarm is going off and
Hmm.
everything else, and luckily it wasn't above me, so I didn't get flooded, but.
Yeah, I lost power for 30 hours, so that was fun. I didn't lose water, thankfully. I haven't seen the obvious signs of burst pipes, so that's I got off a little lucky on that one. I'm very thankful for that. But yeah, I mean, it. I woke up Tuesday morning and it was below 40 degrees in my house, so
Wow.
it was very cold.
How cold was it outside? And also, what is it right now?
It was 0 outside. Yesterday it was 80 degrees, and it's like 60 something right now. So
Yeah, it got to almost 60
68.
degrees today at least, and
Yeah.
all the snow is melted here in Indiana pretty much.
No, we got sub-zero temperatures last week. That was really cold. That was actually, I think, one of the record colds in Texas. So
In the Houston area, it was down in the teens. It
yeah,
was like, well, actually, it was 9 degrees or something like that. And I'm
yeah,
in the northern part, um, which does get even colder. And I
yeah,
was, um, here's a fascinating thing. My old house, that's is on the selling the property. The not a single pipe burst, even with the power outages. And it's because the entire attic, all the piping, of course, is copper, and it was also insulated. So nothing busted. I was surprised. And then that house has the worst insulation in the attic. It's like none. So,
yeah, yeah. I basically did the traditional method. Just I wrapped my bibs with towels that I'd soaked and kept all my interior faucets dripping. So I think that kind of saved my butt because if I hadn't done that, I probably would have had a pipe or two burst. But
I, I,
yeah,
turn, I turned the water off at my house.
yeah.
And the problem is the valve is screwed up, so you couldn't completely turn it off at the main spigot.
Mm,
But I wrapped all that stuff, and you know, I guess I was lucky. Then it was they actually did a good job with the plumbing. They sucked with the electrical and a lot of other stuff in that house, but yeah, and I know that people who were out of power for like 2.5 days, almost 3 days.
yeah, I was out for 30 hours. Yeah, that was fun, but I know some people were still out of power actually, even until they lifted the emergency conditions on Friday. So,
Yeah, I mean, I was I hunkered down in my apartment, and I didn't. One nice thing is I'm downstairs, and I have apartments on either side of me, and so I only have basically one exposure, and so as a matter, nothing in my freezer. I had I know do not use the water for ice or anything like that around here. The water's bad.
yeah.
Okay, so I have a filtered water, and none of my ice cubes melted in the freezer, and so didn't lose anything in the fridge either, even without power. So I was fortunate there.
Yeah, it was pretty rough all around. I don't think a lot of people. I think a lot of people who aren't from here don't realize how bad it got here. I mean, yeah, you go, oh, we get colder temperatures than that where I live. Yeah, but your architecture isn't built for weather
Yeah.
that gets to 110 degrees in the summer and stays that way.
Well, yeah, not only that, but yeah, I mean, so when I opened up the garage and looked at the car was runoff from the roof. Of course, lands on my car, which is is outside, and so it was just basically covered with ice.
Hmm.
And so I had to chisel my way into the door seam to open the door one night and just defrosted it enough where I could drive in the morning. Still in the 20s in the morning when I did, because I needed to go somewhere. But yeah, I was locked down for 3 days.
Yeah, I was too. We actually were at a point where we were about to go to my father-in-law's place because he had power, and we didn't, and because it was getting dangerously cold in our house to the point where we have a 16-year-old dog. We can't, we would have been fine. Those sub-zero temperatures, cats would have been fine, but the dog would have probably died from that kind of stuff. So we had to get out, and yeah, right before we left, the power came back on. So we're like, well, shit. And been pretty dangerous to get out on the road, especially during that shit.
Oh
So
yeah.
Well, I mean, I was doing pretty good. I mean, I have all this rechargeable, lithium lights,
oh yeah,
and batteries, and
same.
I had tons of that stuff. I had the what do you call it? The real graphene chargers for the phones. Um, I mean, so I had all these phone chargers. So and we had cellular service, so I could get on the internet if I wanted to, if I really needed to. Um, yeah, I was doing okay. Um, and of course, in this area when the power goes off, it does weird things when it shuts down servers because they don't shut down. When you have power going on, that turns off, it goes on, it turns off. Your VMware servers don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing likes that.
I mean, the problem was I had battery backups. Like the first thing I did before we lost power and our phones needed to get recharged was I pulled one of my laptops out that was sitting on standby, and I basically just opened the lid and let it sit idle, and I vampired off of that. And I used two of the laptops I had to do that with before I even touched the battery backup. So we had power for cell phones and all that stuff. That was fine, but that doesn't do you a whole lot of good when you don't have any kind of heat. And given the situation, we need heat because, again, the dog. Us, we've been fine. We were bundled up under the covers in the bed. My wife actually got a little frostbite in her foot, so that was kind of fun. But yeah,
Well, yeah, I don't. Unfortunately, I mean, I think it did get down in the 40s, but I was able to layer up. I discovered my overcoat, which I never used before, uh, and I was good, surprisingly. And yeah, I've of course I've camped out in the desert before, and
yeah,
it was like 30 degrees, so yeah, I know.
yeah. Like I said, if it had been just us and the cats, would have been fine. Cats were not going to have fun, but they would have been fine. But with the dog, with how old she is, it's dangerous for her. So
Yeah, you just need to put her in a little pup tent surrounded with blankets. That would have done it.
yeah.
Well, guys,
Yeah.
I'll catch y'all later.
All right. Well, have a good one, and I will let you know on the crypto mining adventures.
All righty, catch y'all later.
Later.